Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi has been my role model all the time. He wore no uniforms, commanded no armies, held no government positions, but he led the biggest movement in the world to decolonize the world. Not many people understand and appreciate his contribution and his quality of leadership. He lived by the gospel of truth and non-violence. He emphasized single standard of conduct in public and private life. And these are very important qualities in a great leader. To him, personal virtues and public values were combined, were same. He, in fact, was driven by the life of service to others. Corporate leaders have different objectives. Corporate leaders cannot be like Gandhi all the time. But there are a lot of characteristics from Gandhi that corporate leaders could benefit. Truth, simplicity, courage, conviction, perseverance, determination. These are not just simple words. Every one of these words require you to have clear understanding of how to translate that in your character. Discipline is a very simple word. What does it mean to be disciplined? When you tell somebody you'll show up at 8, you got to show up at 8. That's discipline. When you say you'll get up at 6 and read a book, you got to get up at 6 and read a book. You look at how people use their diaries and plan their days and how many follow through. Without good discipline, you can't get many things done. In my life, every time I have had a challenge, I've always thought of Gandhi as my role model and say, what would he do? How would he solve a problem, tackle a problem, face a situation, communicate, collaborate? And there are many other leaders that we could think of to follow. We could even follow multiple leaders. But in leadership, you have ups and downs. In my case, I know my highs have been very high and my lows have been very low. How do you cope with things when things don't go well? How do you deal with a situation where everything seems to be falling apart? Because that's going to happen. What goes up must come down. So I have learned to cope with success and failures by focusing on what we call in Indian system karma, K-A-R-M-A. It's an old philosophy that I learned as a young person just by reading bits and pieces and hearing bits and pieces. I learned that you cannot really have strong attachment to the outcome of the activity. Of course, it is important to focus on outcome. But sometimes things don't happen. You can't get discouraged. You also have to make sure that you are comfortable inside and not playing it to the gallery. You cannot rely on other people's opinion all the time. You have to become independent of the opinion of the others. What would somebody think of me? How would I look? Because if you think of all of those things, you really lose sight of the challenge you have as a leader. Many times you have to focus on a job because it needs to be done. If you don't do it, nobody will do it. You have to work for the sake of work. You can't look for immediate rewards all the time. Sometimes there are no returns. There is no IRR in the short term. But that's what leaders are all about. You also cannot make investments in power over other people, because then you become manipulative. You have a larger goal, you meet that goal, and make sure people join you in that journey. Another interesting thing I have learned is the difference between doing things right and doing right things. When you are young, it is important to do things right. Improve quality, deliver on time, finish your assignment, because you are given a task and you got to do it right. But once you begin to do things right over and over again, say after 10 years, 15 years, at some point in time in life, you must focus on doing right things. Saying, I got to do this because it is the right thing to do. Another lesson I have learned is many times people cannot exercise and accept leadership at the same time. Some people are just leader and they want everybody to follow them. And some people are waiting for instructions from the leader. A true leader is someone who can exercise and accept leadership at the same time.